Hello, everybody. Yay, awesome. Hello, everyone. So good to see you all. Hi, Janet. Roberta. Oh, yay. Good to see you. Karen, Susan, Christine. Oh, Christine. So nice to see you. Urashla, Deborah. Awesome. All right. And I don't know who is online on Facebook. Hi, Nancy. So good to see you. Okay, so here we are, our first Q&A session of the new year. That is pretty exciting. So let's start by pre-paving our time together. Just breathe in all the way and relax. We want to pre-pave listening to our guidance, allowing our guidance to come through, receiving the answers to all our questions, feeling confident, satisfied, happy, sure of the next steps we have to take when we leave our time together. Breathe all of that in, let it go, and let it be done. Awesome. Oh, Samuel must be really early at his end. It must be 7:30 in the morning for him. Hi, Kathy. So good to see you online. Awesome. Okay. So next thing we do is to establish a safe space, meaning nobody's judging you. Have you ever had a time in your life when you walked into a room and you felt all the eyes were on you and you started looking for the food on your face because it made you so self-conscious? Or I'm just telling you things that I've experienced, okay? Or you walk into a room and somebody looks at you and you feel like if they had the opportunity and they got you alone, they were going to cut you up into little pieces. Ever had that one? You know, that angry stare? Yeah. And all of that is judgment. And judgment makes us afraid. It makes us afraid to shine. It makes us lose our voice. It makes us conscious. It makes us feel inappropriate. It makes us just feel icky. And I want you to know that in this room, there is no judgment. Nobody's judging you. All questions are welcome. I will tell you one thing I know for sure after doing this work for so many years. I know that there is not a question that you can ask me that I have not asked before. Because either something like that was going on in my life or I experienced it in some way or the other. So there is no judgment here. When you voice a question, voice it. Don't hold it in here. And I will help you as best I can. And the way I help you is not by giving you the answers. I help you by allowing the answers to come through me to you. I am the messenger. I am not the creator of the message. And so that's our first rule, no judgment. And do we all agree that there is no judgment here? Just raise your hands. Thank you. Awesome. No judgment. Thank you. And if you can't raise your hand, go ahead, put it in the chat. The next agreement we're going to make is no repercussion. I have no history with you. I'm not coming after you for anything. You are free and most welcome to say whatever is on your heart and on your mind over here. This is a safe space. We all support each other. Thank you, Tamika. We all support each other, and soon as we leave this space, we're going to forget it and never hold it against you. And if we ever see you again or talk to you again, it will only be to love you and support you in whatever you need. Do we agree to support each other in that way? Awesome. Thank you, thank you. So no repercussion. And the last agreement we make is unconditional love. Make each other feel comfortable, surrounded by love, understanding that we are all the same. No one is better than you. You are not better than anyone else. We are all the same. We are all humans trying to live our best life. We are all extensions of source energy. We all have the same hopes and dreams. And so, do we agree to surround all each other with unlimited, unconditional love? Thank you, Yarashla, Tamika, thank you. People on Facebook, hi Mitch. Michelin, I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Elena, good to see you. Kathy, Nicole, awesome, you guys. All right. And so, let's declare this a safe space by telling yourself, I am in a safe space. And then tell everyone here, you are in a safe space. And you can do that by unmuting yourself, putting it in the chat, or just saying it out aloud wherever you are. Natasha, so good to see you, sweetheart. And might I say, your profile pic looks beautiful.
You are in a safe space.
Thank you, Janet. Awesome. Thank you, Cheryl. All right, I can't see messages on Facebook, guys, so give me 1 second to go to the group on Facebook so I can see what people are saying. People on Facebook, your questions are welcome as well. I will be checking Facebook chat, so if you put something in the chat, I will pick it up and respond to it. Book chat. So if you put all right, here we go. Awesome. All right, we're all lined up and ready to go. So the first question is from me to you. Is there a subject in law of attraction that you would like me to speak more about, to clarify a concept? Is there a law of attraction concept that you would like for me to clarify? If so, let me know. What would you like to learn about? Yes, Deborah?
I posted not really a question, but one of the things that I would like to learn more about is expanding my heart and love vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm planning on developing a meditation for that. I did some heart and love meditations online, and I was so lifted up. My heart was so expanded. It made me cry. It made me cry for quite a while. And so I want to understand more about that so I can help others feel as good as I felt.
So really, first of all, really good question. And I saw your question this morning, but I have not been able to get to it. I think you posted it in the Unlimited Life group. So I picked it up this morning. Here's the thing. It is so many things. It's not one thing. And before I give you more, I want to ask you a question. You said that you cried. Why did you cry? What made you cry?
My heart felt so full. My heart felt overflowing with energy.
Okay. Overflowing with energy should feel good. Why did you cry?
Tears of joy, I guess.
There's no such thing.
Okay.
So,
I always thought there was.
oh, well, that's what we've been told. But if you're...
Well, like when I saw my sister's baby, it made me cry. First time.
Yes, let me tell you why. What we call tears of joy is not actually joy, it's the releasing of resistance. When we release resistance, our body is coming up to speed with a vibration, and that comes out as tears.
Okay.
Okay? So it's not a bad thing. Releasing
No, I didn't
resistance.
think it was.
No,
Didn't
it
feel
isn't.
bad.
It
It felt
isn't.
good.
Yes, but it's not joy, it's relief. So
Okay.
you're a member of the 365, and in the 365 we have had a discussion, probably maybe not while you were a member, maybe before that, but relief is not the same as joy. Releasing resistance that you've held on to for a very long time it's like I have walked 10 miles carrying this heavy sack of potatoes, and finally I get home and I put the sack of potatoes down. I feel relief because I put that thing that I was carrying, I put it down. That doesn't mean I feel good. I'm still tired. It's not, you see the difference? Relief is I'm over here and I went up a step on the emotional scale. That's relief. Relief is not joy.
I understand that.
Okay?
And I heard you speak to that
Yeah.
a couple of times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So crying is a very good thing. Never brush away your tears. Allow them to flow as much as they want to flow, because in that process, you are going up the emotional scale. And the trick for this is when you stop crying, when your tears are all spent, the resistance is gone. So here's the thing, something bad happening, something sad happening will make us cry, because crying is a natural way for us to release resistance. And something good happening will make us cry because we've spent so much time over here, and then you hold a baby in your arms and that baby is pure positive energy. It certainly makes you feel better than you felt in a very long time. So you release resistance and you feel better. So after you're done crying, you've got to not stop there. You've got to keep going up the emotional scale and try to get here. Try to go up as much as you can. Keep the momentum going. Because when you start feeling the relief, means that you've found a way to go up the emotional scale. Now keep that journey going so that you can get to the top. And then
in that, should I keep doing that type of meditation where it opens my heart?
As long as, so here, okay, so Deborah, don't make it a chore. Okay, so I'm going to do this.
I meditate every day anyway, so it's not a chore to meditate.
No, I'm not saying that it is. But what I am saying is, do it for as long as it feels good. And when it stops feeling good, because here's the thing, the same thing over and over again, it loses its intensity. It's like, think about it this way. The very, very, very first time I saw fireworks, my heart expanded like, wow, fireworks were going off in my heart. Okay?
I understand.
And I see fireworks now and it still feels good, but it's not that feeling. Okay? So, when it loses its effect, move on to the next thing. And
Okay.
that's what I mean when I say don't do it like a chore, because sometimes we say, oh, this is good for me, so I should do it, even though now it feels so painful. But you know what? I should still do it. Don't do it then.
Okay, in the one that I'm designing, I ask people to find something that they love and appreciate and hold that image in their heart. So it could change every day, because I could appreciate a tree today and the ocean tomorrow.
Absolutely. Go with the flow. Don't make too
Okay.
many rules. And
No,
and
Just
don't
keep it
yeah,
simple,
keep it simple and
short
keep going.
and sweet.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
That was what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And that's confirmation to the directions I was getting.
Amazing. Just keep going. Have fun with it. And keep doing it as
Okay.
long as it's fun. Awesome. Really
Thank
good
you so
question.
much.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm excited. I want to see what you come up with. That's amazing. All right.
I haven't done anything like this before, so it'll be new
Well,
to me.
it's expansion. It's
You know,
growth.
the first time I ever did a painting, I never did that before, and I loved it. So
There you go. There you go. Awesome. Amazing. And isn't it wonderful that these days we have easy access to so many resources? Yeah, that's wonderful. Enjoy yourself, Deborah. I love the
Thank you.
shift in you. Your just your face and everything. You've morphed over the last couple of months. It's beautiful to see. Awesome.
Thank you so much. I
All
feel
right.
beautiful.
All right, guys. We have taken off. What's our next question? I don't see any questions yet on Facebook. Hi, Margarita, Lana. Good to see you guys on Facebook. Awesome. Back to Zoom. Who wants to go next? Yes, Janet, go ahead. Take your time. Take your time.
Okay, I'd like to know more about the role of religion and Jesus with the law of attraction. I'm kind of at a crossroads. I no longer feel I have to go to Mass every Sunday, and yet I kind of feel I should. And I do believe in God, as we all refer to God or the power. But I also believe that Jesus is the Son of God and also like God. And I think the law of attraction just says Jesus wasn't so much the Savior, but he was crucified because he expected to be. And I think
No.
that I will
No,
continue
no.
to go to church.
I want to stop you right there. No, he didn't.
Okay.
Okay, so keep going. Where do you find a conflict between law of attraction and religion? Where do you find a conflict?
I know they talk about God or the power, that I can go along with. But I also think about Jesus being the Son of God. And I know there's been a lot of miracles for the Blessed Virgin. So I grew up with all of that.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. And all of that is true because Jesus, just like you, is an extension of Source. You are an extension of Source. What does that mean? You are made of the same energy as that which we call God, Source. That energy is flowing through everything in this world, whether it's living or non-living, and so are you. It is flowing through you. You are it in physical form. And
So,
Jesus was special. Jesus was very special. But what made Jesus special and the reason he was able to do the miracles that he performed, and he did do all of that, is because he could bring himself into complete alignment and be one with Source. And there are not too many of us who can achieve that level. Not myself, not Esther Hicks, not Gandhi, no one has achieved that level of being one with God. And so all of that is true. There's no conflict here. But we are also looking at the life of Jesus, and we see where he did things that were in complete alignment, and then things happened that were not in alignment. Where he said on the cross, "Why have you forsaken me?" But God never forsakes his creations, ever. But we can feel forsaken when we are going through a bad time that we don't deserve.
So I think for me, I'll still go to church because I grew up with that, and part of it
Yes.
I do like.
Yes,
But I don't think I have to go every Sunday. I just don't feel like I really have to go every Sunday.
so then you don't.
Maybe
then you don't. But if you want to go, you should. There's nothing here. There's nothing in what I teach. There's nothing in what Abraham teaches that says, don't go to church. We never say that. We never mean it in any way. Because the road to internal peace, peace in your heart, the road to communion with God, there's not one road. There are many roads that lead to that communion. So find that inner peace in any which way that you can find it. Because that's what it's all about. It's about being happy. If you're happy, it doesn't matter whether you're Jewish or Christian or Muslim or Hindu or Buddhist, it doesn't matter. You are happy and you are satisfied, and that's all that matters. All of those other things are labels. Doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. I do feel a lot better.
Yes. And you can make...
It's hard going.
Well, here's the thing, and I want you to remember one thing, Janet. When we say God is ever loving, then you should never think that if you didn't go to church, then somehow God wouldn't love you as much. God is going to love you the same whether you sit at home or you sit in a pew at church. Because God's love never varies. That is what makes God God.
I think I have to hold on to that, and not so much the rules of an organization.
Absolutely.
I think that's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hang on, guys. Christine, I know you had your hand up because you wanted to add to this conversation. But you know what, guys? I forgot to record this. Give me 1 second to start the recording.
Recording in progress.
Alright, so now the good thing is that it is being transmitted to Facebook and the Facebook version will get saved. Alright, so sorry about that. Christine, go ahead.
Well, I had a question and a comment. That I was just going to say, I believe like the law of attraction is non-denominational. You can
Yes.
still believe in your beliefs. It's just about how you choose to talk to yourself
Yes.
and right, like getting the frequency level and the vibrations up so you attract more like things instead of the negative self-talk.
Absolutely. And if
Yeah.
you really analyze religion, which I have, you discover that you become better at explaining religion when you understand law of attraction better.
Yes, that makes sense.
So was your question related to Janet's question?
Not really. My question was more having to do with Esther Hicks and Abraham and how you would kind of explain that. Like the way I see it, and I'm not sure if I'm correct, this is why I'm asking, but I see it as more like, is she like a medium that like speaks? Because sometimes it's kind of conflicting because she makes it sound like Esther, it makes it sound like Abraham is in a house somewhere and just didn't show up to the party. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure if she's channeling like as a medium or, Abraham just wasn't up for attending.
Oh, sweetheart, love your question. Nancy, I see your hand up. Let me deal with Christine's question and then I'll come to you, okay? All right. Ooh, so basically your question is, what the fuck is Abraham? All right. Okay, so the best way that I can explain it is because I do the same thing that Esther does, so I understand what is going on. Let me tell you what is going on as I see it, okay? So when I put myself into this role of answering questions, start again. Christine, do you accept that there are two parts to us? One is our soul and the other one is our mind. Do you accept that? Okay.
I do.
All right. So
It's
both...
trying to get both of them on the same plane.
Well, no, not exactly. So there is a lot of confusing terminology out there about channeling, about mediumship, about, I don't know. I don't even know what the terminology is. There's lots of terminology, different people doing energy readings of all sorts of different types. Okay. Here's what I want you to know. When someone asks me a question, I have a choice. You have a choice. Each one of us has a choice. And most of us think about the answer and then we give the person the answer that they're seeking. So the answer is coming from one side of us, which is the mind. Okay? What Esther and I do when we answer questions is we don't answer from the mind. So the answers that we are giving are not coming from our own logic. They are not coming from, I'm not making up the answer. I'm just bringing you the answer that is being downloaded in my head. And it downloads as a thought, which I then put words to. And my job is to select the right words to make sense of what I am receiving. So this is why I say I am not answering your questions. Your questions are being answered through me. I am the converter of the energy and I put words to it and then I give it to you. So I know for a fact that that is what I do and that is what Esther does. And what happens is, so while I'm in this and I've prepared myself to be here tonight, all the answers you're receiving are coming from the heart side of my being. And my mind is actually an observer, observing the answers coming through. And I will say to people and people who are in my daily coaching group, they know I will tell them to write things down for me because my focus is on flowing the message. So I'm at the same time not able to hold on to the message because it's just flowing through me. So I ask them to write it down so that I can go and revisit it because as it is flowing, it feels so good and it makes sense to me, but it's not coming from my mind, so I can't remember it. Okay? So when I close the call, it's gone. Okay?
So, okay, I still have like a little bit more to ask you. Like, for example, because where I'm getting confused is like she named
yes.
the source Abraham.
That's right.
Then why did she refer to Abraham as almost like I follow her and I listen to her and she talked about a story about a bird that was outside the window flying like a hummingbird would, and she was saying like it was a sign that her husband was there with them. But it makes it sound like, she's at a house hanging out with Abraham and they're looking out the window together. That's where I'm confused.
No, that's not.
Do you have a name for your source?
No. I call my source Abraham as well.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the thing. Source is always with us because we have a soul. That soul part of us is what is our link.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I always thought that to be my conscious, which was there.
No, your consciousness, there are two parts to your consciousness. You have your inner being, guidance, your inner being, which is also consciousness, and your mind, which is also consciousness. But they're not always in the same place, and they're not always in the same place because it's the mind that deviates. The soul never does. Okay? So here's the thing. It sounds as if Abraham is outside of Esther or is someone else, but Abraham is not someone else. Abraham is source. So Abraham,
like as if I would say God. I think of that as God talking through me.
Yes. But okay, but
yeah, I kind of get it now.
You kind of get it? Okay. So
yes, I do. It makes sense. It just is a matter of just like what you're naming it. It's not even about the name.
It's not even about the name. No, it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a way for us to say, and I don't use
It's
that.
like intuition.
I say heart and mind. So I don't say I'm talking to Abraham. I say heart and mind. I'm either in my mind or I'm in my heart. But what I ideally want is my mind to combine with my heart and both of them be one. And that is what a place of alignment is.
Makes sense.
Okay?
Yes, thank
So,
you.
yeah. So when Esther is speaking as Abraham, she is really what she's doing is Esther is the mind part of her and Abraham is the heart part of her. So when she's flowing through the heart part, and when we are flowing through the heart, we are not logically processing the thoughts. There's no logical processing of thoughts going on. You know how we process the ifs and buts and pros and cons and that whole analysis of what if this happens or that happens. That all happens in the mind. The heart never does that kind of analysis.
Mm.
Okay?
Makes sense.
So
Yeah.
what does the
Thank
heart do? Heart is connected to God force. Heart is connected to source. And heart is drawing information, guidance from source. Okay? So in order to live our best life, we've got to combine our heart and our mind. Meaning we've got to live as one, not live as, not live in our minds.
Contradiction. Mm-hmm.
Don't live in your mind. So I made the switch by asking myself a very simple question, because people who have very strong minds, are overthinkers, have always thought about life and why things happen the way they do, why people behave the way they do. They are thinkers, and thinkers have to stop thinking and start feeling, because if you live your life in your head, then you don't listen to your guidance as much, because you ask for your guidance to be given to you from the mind part of you. But the mind part of you is very limited compared to the heart part of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that's what Esther is doing. But here's the thing. When she started flowing the messages, she didn't know this was going on. And so it felt to her as if someone else was speaking through her.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
Way back in 1985 when she started, she didn't have the understanding she does now.
Mm-hmm.
So when she felt as if someone else was speaking through her, she had to give it another name. Okay? And now it's so out there and she's so used to it that there's no point in changing it anymore.
Right. At first, like when I first heard of her, when I thought she was saying Abraham, I thought she was talking about like Abraham, like that's in the
Yes,
Bible.
that's right. Yeah.
You know? And,
Yeah.
and that's what I thought for a long
Yeah.
time, and just until recently,
Yeah.
you know, that's why I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification.
No
I
problem.
appreciate that.
But I love that you just said, because that was exactly what I thought. I thought teachings of Abraham or Abrahamic teachings, right?
Yeah.
So, but the what I've come to realize is that flowing from the heart is what all prophets always did. All of them. That's how they were guided.
Yeah.
Okay? Awesome. Really, really good question. Thank you for that. I still don't see any questions on Facebook. Facebook people, you are awfully quiet today. Nancy, go ahead.
I answered it partial just now. without me actually asking my
It's
question.
wonderful when that happens.
Because it was weird. Like, so I wrote the receptionist basically a thank you card because she gave me a gift, and there's a while she was out, so then I finally gave it to her. I do remember telling the whole thing because I heard your voice throughout the whole thing, but then I couldn't remember anything at all. And she was talking to me like, "Oh, I just love your card. It touched my heart so much. It's so thoughtful and lovely." And I'm thinking, I don't know what you're talking about. So I was thinking, with the memory thing, because I had another incident where I locked myself out. These doors all automatically close. I left my keys on the counter, went out, came back, and then realized that, I left my keys. I mean, it was rectified in 5 minutes because I, live in an apartment complex. But now it's like, is it just because, did that happen to me forgetting something, everything that I wrote, because it's not meant for me to keep, or because of the thing that I had another memory incident with a key and because of the key?
Nancy,
Or am I reading too much?
of course you're over analyzing it, and you are making connections that you don't need to make. Once you make a connection, that connection holds you hostage. This finger does not need to be connected to this, but you're making the connection. So when you connect two things, now you've connected them. So if you want to connect bad memory with all these things, then go ahead, because then what are you focusing on? Where's your focus?
Okay.
Where's
I
your
just wasn't
focus?
sure if
No, you're not off the hook yet. Where's your focus?
I'm forgetting my keys.
Your focus is on forgetfulness. If your focus is on forgetfulness, my love, then what do you think is going to happen next?
Forgetting more things.
Yes. So the universe is basically telling you, Nancy, stop it.
Okay.
Okay? Don't make the connection, and there will be none. We create the connections, and then the universe says, oh, you've connected these two things. That means you want them. Let me give you more of it. Okay?
Okay. Thanks.
You're so welcome. And to be honest, you're not alone. How many other people do that? We connect things together.
It's just me.
No, just you. All right, so I've done that, like I've said things like, when I was a kid, I know I said this about my mother, that my mother's very strict. Guess what I got more of? Right? Exactly. Yes. Whatever you focus on expands. Right? So we shouldn't make those connections. If we make the connections, then the universe will just say, okay, this is how you want things to be. All right. Awesome. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I don't see any questions on Facebook. But I do see, hi Sarah, good to see you there. And who else is there? Carol. Awesome, good to see you. And I'm not sure who else is there, but let's keep going. Nancy, love you so much. All right. Who's next? Anyone else have a question?
We'll put a question up there, Zara.
Oh, thank you for
in
telling
the
me.
chat.
Thank you for telling me, Samuel. My question is how to break free of guilt and fear beliefs about Christianity. Ooh. That is, disobey God is equal to being bad. Bible church is the only truth. God punishes sinners, etc. Won't be free to talk as I am starting work. Okay. Woo. My goodness. Samuel. The way I have dealt with this, and you're not alone, Samuel, first of all, because I think that one of the things that happens to many of us when we find law of attraction is that, and we are the ones who have always wanted to be good kids, I'm the good little girl, always want to do good things because, I was taught to be good, so I'm going to do everything in my power to be good. What happens is that we become conflicted because we feel as if we are going away from our religion, that somehow law of attraction is going to make us less good or less loved by God, and nothing could be further from the truth. It is not like that. And so the guilt and fear, I'm going to take this one at a time, Samuel. The guilt and fear about if you disobey God, you are equal to bad. So the way I rationalize this for myself is I ask myself a simple question. Is God schizophrenic? Sit with that for a minute. Because you cannot tell me that God is ever loving and then also tell me that God is an angry, vengeful entity who is going to punish me for being bad. Only your parents do that. Only parents do that. God does not do that. If God is ever loving, then God is ever loving. And when we, so the next thing is disobeying God. What is disobeying God? Let me tell you what is disobeying God. Disobeying God is the equivalent of acting from a place low on the emotional scale. And that is not against religion. Law of attraction says do not take action from a place of revenge. Do not take action from a place of anger. Do not take action from a place of guilt or blame or fear. Because those are the actions that hurt other people. And that is the equivalent of disobedience. But the thing is, that was centuries ago. They didn't know physics. They didn't know the science behind vibration. They didn't understand quantum physics and how everything in this world is based on energy and physics. They didn't understand that. So because they didn't understand that, how were they going to explain the emotional scale and acting from a low place on the emotional scale? That's how they explained it. But it remains true. There's nothing that I've ever taught you that says, go kill someone. Or tell lie. What do I tell you? In the 4-step process, in the book Thrive, the 4-step process is do not lie your way up the emotional scale, because lies actually will not allow you to go up the emotional scale. So all those things that are supposed to be a righteous way of living life, those things appear that way on the outside, but on the inside, those are actions of someone who is living in the top half of the emotional scale. That's all there is to it. So if you look for alignment and you never act from a place low on the emotional scale, then you will never be disobedient to that which you call God. Does that make sense, everyone? Janet, does that make sense? Yes? Yes. Awesome. So I never have to worry, because I am not going to knowingly act from a place low on the emotional scale. When you don't realize it, you do something, God doesn't hold it against you. Never. God is ever loving. All right, next thing. Bible Church is the only truth. Bible Church is a truth. Nobody's saying it's not true. Nobody's saying it's not there. Nobody is saying it's not correct. It is a truth. But the Bible recognizes so many other prophets before Jesus. Doesn't the Bible recognize so many prophets? So the Bible itself teaches us that there is not one truth, but those prophets also were the bearers of the word of God. Wasn't Moses the bearer of the word of God? Well, then the religion of Moses is part of Christianity, but is not Christianity. Judaism is a separate religion, so-called separate religion. But you got to understand, all religions spring from the same source. Okay? So, Christianity, the church, the Bible are a truth. They are not the only truth. And nothing in law of attraction, the teachings of Abraham, opposes any of that. So that's number 2. God punishes sinners. No, God does not punish sinners, but God has created a system that punishes sinners. Why? Because the system is based on karma. Law of attraction is a boomerang. Whatever you send out, you get the equivalent of it back. So if you act from a place low on the emotional scale, that's the vibration you're sending out. You're sending out bad stuff is coming back to you. So God is not punishing you, you are punishing yourself because you are acting from a place low on the emotional scale. So sinners will get punished. Yes, they will get punished. Not because God is raging fire and vengeance over them, but because law of attraction is a very precise system. It, for lack of a better word, it rewards people who act from a place high on the emotional scale. What is a place high on the emotional scale? It's a place of love, hope, eagerness. It rewards people for those vibrations. And for lack of another word, it punishes people for low vibration. That is God's system. Law of attraction is God's system for responding to every message we send, and every thought we think is a message we send to God. Really, it's that simple. So for now, Samuel, I'm sure you have lots of questions, because I have had lots more questions about religion compared to your 3 questions. Like I said when I started, there is no question that you're going to ask me that I have not asked myself. So, and then Samuel says, especially no casual sex allowed. Pretty eager to change that. Well, here's the thing, Samuel. Okay, so casual sex, where is it coming from? Casual sex, where is it coming from? Is it coming from a place low on the emotional scale or high on the emotional scale? That's it. So intention and attention. That's all there is to it. What is your intention and what are you giving attention to? Because if you have sex and you call it casual sex, and you have that casual sex from a place of fear that God is now gunning for you, then no good will come of that, because you're living in fear. Fear will attract something to be afraid of. Fear will perpetuate fear. So you've got to understand that if you pay attention to the emotional scale, the 2 concepts in law of attraction that explain everything in law of attraction, the emotional scale and momentum. If you understand those 2, you will never go wrong, because all you have to do is ask yourself the question, where am I acting from? Am I acting from a place of fear? You've got to get over the fear. Do not take action from a place of fear. Fear is like the red traffic light that says stop. It doesn't say you can never go. It just says change the light to green and then go. But unlike a traffic light, we have to do the work to change the traffic light from red to green. That's the thinking work that we do. That's the alignment that we have to find between our hearts and our minds. Awesome. So, Samuel, I hope that answers your question. So, casual sex can be rape, or casual sex can be a fling where there is no intention. Both parties are aware that there is no intention for a long-term relationship. Nobody gets hurt. Okay? Where are you coming from on the emotional scale? That's all you need to know. All right. Woo. Good stuff. All right, guys. Next, Susan. Hi, Sue.
Yeah, hi. I feel like the intention and attention conversation was a good segue to my question. I remember when I was working with you on my grandson and the problems I was having with him, his behavior and the craziness in the house. And you helped shed a new light on him and our relationship, and everything changed pretty much. It was very, very different. And when I think of dealing with my finances in my business, and I'm dealing with the struggles that I'm experiencing, it's like it's negative, and I feel like I'm ignoring, like I'm giving so much attention to that and ignoring the good, like I was kind of with him. You know, I see that there's a similarity there,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted your...
Well, Sue, so here's the thing. This is what Abraham calls habit of thought. We have a habit of thought. You have a habit of thought. And what you're doing is you're in the process of changing that habit of thought. You pick a subject and you hyper focus on that subject. And you're able to shift your habit of thought on that subject. But your habit of thought has a lot of momentum, you see? Because you've been using that habit of thinking for a very long time. And it affects all the areas of your life. We've not only worked on your grandson, we've also worked on Jim, right? Your husband. We worked on him. We've worked on a lot of other subjects in your life. So now you need to work on the business, because you've massaged these and they've all improved. But business is where that's the next project. Okay? So just like the thing for you to tell yourself is, just like I was able to do it with this and this and this and this, I can also do it with this. That's what you're not telling yourself just now. You're telling yourself the business is different. But the business is not different. It is just exactly like everything else in your life. Margarita, I see your comment on Facebook and I'll come back to it in a minute. Okay? Let me just finish here with Sue. So, does that make sense, Sue?
Yeah, I think I tend to forget how serious that all felt to me.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
It was with
That's
my
right.
grandson, it was like the end of the world kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And this feels a way.
Yes. But
It's drastic, of course, but
I want you to always go back to the one philosophy that we have to use as our anchor. And that is, all things are possible. That captures law of attraction in one sentence. If all things are possible, then why not this? Right? Because it can't be two different ways. If all things are possible, then all things are possible. I just have to figure out how. And the how, I can figure out the how because I have figured out the how in other areas of my life. I can figure out the how because I do have guidance. I have already proven to myself that I have guidance. I have used that guidance to change so many other things in my life. And this seems big only because I call it big. from the point of view of the universe, nothing is big or small. Everything is the same size. If this is possible, then this is also possible. If it's possible to manifest a parking space, it's possible to manifest $1 million. They are the same.
Yeah.
So I've got to stop thinking that this is a big mess. And I've got to stop thinking that other people are poking their fingers in this mess and making it worse. Because I can be so aligned that nobody can pull me down and I can influence the end result with my power of alignment. And if that is true, then I am the only one I need. I don't need to change the way my husband behaves in the shop, or my business partner behaves, or this supplier behaves, or that supplier behaves. None of that is pertinent. Because I can have enough power of influence over all of that. Make sense?
Yeah. Perfect sense.
So all you need is your own alignment. You don't need to look at other people and wish they were more aligned so that would make your job easier. You're just being lazy with your alignment. You want them to be more aligned so that you don't have to do as much work. You don't need anyone else to be aligned. You just go find your own alignment and everyone else will fall into place.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, Margarita has a question on Facebook. She says, I am rejecting the idea that I just have to let the world do its thing. Ooh. My dad died defending our country from an awful guy that was in power for 30 years and killed so many people. As his daughter, I was always expected to defend others, to work to make sure poor people had free lab work and medical treatments. And now in the USA, as an educator, helping immigrants understand the educational system, I don't know how not to care. Yesterday, I spent the whole day watching movies to stop myself from watching our new president. What is my role? Do I stop caring about migrant families? Absolutely not. Sweetheart, Margarita, law of attraction is not about not caring. Law of attraction is about caring in a way that makes you powerful. And I want you to understand the difference. Because by caring, caring can be painful, or caring can make your heart sing. If caring is painful, then it's not helpful. Hear me again, Margarita. I know you're on Facebook. Put a comment in the chat so I know you're watching and listening. When caring feels painful, you are not helping. We don't say stop caring. We just say, what we do say is stop hurting. Because when you stop hurting, you go up the emotional scale to the top of the emotional scale where all your power is. That's where you have power to change the systems. That's where you have power, when you're not hurting. Awesome. I'm glad you're still on the call. I see your comment. So that's what we want. We care so much that we've got to stop hurting. Let me give you an example that will make sense. And you're in the 365, and this morning in the 365, the talk was around the new president. Let me give you an example. And you will relate to this because I know you're a mother, and I'm going to give you an example from my own life as a mother. I faint at the sight of blood. Okay? I faint at the sight of blood. So I had to leave medical school. I could not cut it. And this is why I use the analogy. I've always used it ever since then, that if you can't stomach the sight of blood, you should not try to be a surgeon. Then I ended up having a baby girl. And my baby girl fell and hurt herself pretty bad. And she was bleeding pretty profusely. And I had to make the decision not to faint, because helping her was so important. How could I faint? I cannot allow myself to feel bad, because it's so important to help her. And Margarita, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Your wanting to help people is so important that you can't afford to feel bad, because when you feel bad, it's like me fainting. You lose your power. You can't be helpful under those circumstances. So when we say, I care but not that much, what we mean is, I do care. I care so much that I'm not going to let it hurt me. Because my alignment is so important to my being able to help. And I so desperately want to help. Do you see the difference? I used to wear my heart on my sleeve because hungry people, I cannot bear hungry people. Until I realized that my feeling bad for them is actually going to make the situation worse, because by feeling bad for them, I am giving away my power. My power is at the top of the emotional scale. My power is in my seeing their plight and keeping my alignment so that I can help them. And that's the difference. Caring has two ends, the pain of caring and the love of caring. Where there is pain, love is non-existent, because love, think about Valentine's Day, love should not make you miserable. Love is a happy vibration. So when you say, I care so much about these people, and in your heart you're hurting, that's not caring. It's not the vibration of caring. It's not the vibration of coming from a place of love. And you can only help them when you come from a place of love, because from a place of love you can open all doors. From a place of love you can find solutions. From a place of love you have access to guidance. From a place of love you have access to all the resources of the universe. You say you want to help them, you are puny compared to the resources and the power that Source has. Do you not want to use all the power of Source? Don't you want that power to be at your disposal so that you can eradicate poverty? Don't you want that? You're never going to get that if you are low on the emotional scale. You're never going to get that if you are feeling bad. You're never going to get that if you are in pain. You've got to leave the pain behind, because the pain is the worst thing you can feel. The pain is going to prevent you from finding solutions. The pain is going to close the doors that could otherwise be open and help you to accomplish the work that you want to accomplish. So stop being a wimp. Go up the emotional scale and then see how the universe will help you to sort everything out. Hi Sumati, so good to see you. Good morning to you too. All right. Oh, you're welcome, Cheryl. So we don't want to worry about who is the president because it doesn't matter. Do you think the president is more powerful than God? I mean, come on. Seriously? Who are you going to put your trust in? Do you think the president is bigger than Source? Has more resources? Put your trust where it belongs. And remember that people can prosper in any environment if they are aligned. And if they're not aligned, then no matter where they go, they will not be happy and they will still be poor. Because poverty is a state of mind. You can live in the United States, or you can live in Mexico, or Cuba, or you can live in Canada, or China. Doesn't matter. Poverty is a state of mind. You take it wherever you go. Those people who are hurting, they are hurting because they have been socialized to have an attitude of poverty, of lack. And they have to learn to change it. And the universe will keep doing things, will keep throwing stuff at them to make them learn. Not because the universe doesn't love them, not because God doesn't love them, but because God wants them to stand in their own power. And so the best thing we can do is to help them by teaching them how life works, how law of attraction works, and how they can change anything that they want in their life. Hi, Lana. Wait, I can say Darcy's pretty spicy these days. Oh, thank you, Elena. I see your comment. You're welcome, Margarita. If we adopt an attitude of fear, we give our power away because fear is low on the emotional scale. There's never anything to be afraid of. Awesome. All right, bring it on, guys. We are on a roll here. Anyone else have a question for me? All right, let's see. Roberta, do you have a question? No? Awesome. Natasha, do you have a question? Hi, you're muted. Oh, she's in her favorite place. She's in the gym. You're looking wonderful, my dear. Love you so much. All right. Okay, Jerry. Jerry, do you have a question for us? All right. Jerry, if you're talking, we can't hear you. You're muted. Sumati has a follow-up question. And her question is, can a person help out of compassion and not out of love? Well, depends on what you mean by compassion. If you're feeling sorry for someone, if you see someone as helpless, then no. Because why do you see them as helpless? God has not forsaken them. The universe has not forsaken them. Why do you see them as helpless? They are not helpless. So we must always bring ourselves to a place of love and then help people. We should never feel sorry for anyone because they have the same connection to God, the universe, that we have. They are not poor in that regard. They are not less than in that regard. So we never have to feel sorry for anyone, if that's what you mean by compassion. But that doesn't mean we don't help. We should help, absolutely. Just don't feel sorry. I don't help people because I feel sorry for them. I help people because it's easy for me to help them. It doesn't take anything away from me. I have a very simple way of deciding whether or not I'm going to help someone. And that is, does helping them hurt me? If it hurts me, I'm not going to do it. If it's not taking anything away from me, then why not? That's okay, Jerry. I see your comment. Jerry says, sorry, had issues finding area on the app. Awesome. That's okay, Jerry. I'm glad you're here. Okay. So Sumati, I hope that answers your question. Right? So acting, see, here's the thing. We want to do good because we are good people. We want to do good because we care. But you have to understand that caring from a place low on the emotional scale backfires. That's why we don't do it. Okay? Caring from a place low on the emotional scale does not achieve the results that we want to achieve. That's why we don't do it. So if we are feeling sorry, so let's say I want to help someone, and this someone happens to be a family member, and I really want to help them, but I feel bad about helping them because it's creating a pressure on me. Then I first should do the work to relieve myself of the pressure that I'm feeling and bring myself into feeling my own abundance, fill up my cup, and then give to them from my overflow. You don't have to fill your cup with money. You don't have to fill your cup with time. You fill your cup with the feeling of abundance. That's how you fill your cup. And when your cup is full and overflowing, you don't worry about giving people anything. You give openly because your stream is just flowing. There's no end to it. It's going to refill your cup. But if you feel that your cup is going to be empty, notice the words that I just used. If you feel that your cup will be empty, then you're not ready for the giving. Because our receiving is about a feeling, and our giving is also about a feeling. Okay? Awesome. All right. Tamika, did you have a question for us tonight?
I actually just thought about this one. With my Yorkie, she's 7. And when I leave home, I hear she's just so sad, my sons tell me. And I'm like, well, she's choosing to be that way. I don't have anything to do with that. So, but it does get to me sometimes. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I can't. Do I have anything to do with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But tell me something. Does she just never stop crying, or does she stop after a while?
Oh no, she doesn't cry. They say she just mopes. She sits around looking so sad and, doesn't do anything. She doesn't want to play. She don't want to do anything. But when I'm here, she's active. And
who do you leave her with? Who's
it varies. Sometimes she's by herself, but sometimes, my sons are here.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and she started peeing on my bed too, and I'm like, okay, what's happening?
Well, the thing is, it's always to do with you. So dogs they're attached to their family members psychically. Dogs are psychic. I mean, all animals are psychic. We are psychic. But dogs are more conditional lovers. Cats are unconditional. Cat, you're not feeling good. Cat cares, but not that much.
Yes.
Okay? Dogs, you're not feeling well. Oh my God, the dog cares. So the dogs take on whatever people that they care about are feeling. So if you feel that the dog, is the dog going to be miserable? Tell me, where's your focus when you ask that question, when you say, is my dog going to be miserable while I'm gone? Where's your
I don't
focus?
think about it until I come home and they tell me that. And,
Well,
it's not even on my mind.
Then it's on their mind, but the dog is feeding on it, you see?
Okay.
Okay?
Definitely. Yeah.
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 So, no, the dog is only miserable because you think that the dog should be miserable. That's why the dog is miserable. The dog is just obeying instructions.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's no such
Yeah.
thing. There's no such thing. But your dog loves you so much that if you want it to be miserable, it's just going to say, okay, I can do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe when I'm leaving, I do. Maybe I am, now that I think about it, I'll be like, okay, I'll be back. I guess I try not to let it bother me, but I guess it is.
Well, the thing is, you shouldn't have to try to, you should just be, dogs, it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't need you.
Right.
The underlying belief is, my dog needs me or
Yes.
needs someone
Yep.
around. It's the same mistake parents make. Parents think that their babies need to be amused all the time.
Yeah.
And then the babies say, okay, you're my entertainment. Come on, dance in 10,000 different ways so that I can have a good time. But you're doing it. You're the one doing it.
Yeah. I am. Okay.
All
That's eye-opening.
animals don't need anyone. Humans don't need anyone. But a human who thinks that she needs someone in her life, what do you think that human is communicating to the dog in her life?
You need someone. That the
Uh-huh.
dog needs someone.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I've gotten good with that with my sons and letting them be independent, but I never thought about doing it with my dog.
Mm-hmm. Dog does not need you. It's
Okay.
just reflecting to you how you feel.
Okay.
Animals are all
Okay.
self-sufficient.
Yeah.
We give them human personalities. We superimpose a human personality on the animal. And because we have superimposed it, then the animal will show us those characteristics.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Awesome. So, Karen Gladney, did you have a question?
No question. But what you said, Tamika, I go through the same thing. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yurashla, did you have a question?
Not so much. You had answered a question with somebody, and I've got to get out of trying to fix things for other people. I got to care, but not that much, that type of thing. And I'm working on my homework in the other program, and so I'm excited for that. So I just opened up a savings account. So woo-hoo.
Awesome. I know, and I also saw Julia's comment in the chat in the course. So awesome, you guys. Julia, by the way, do you have a question?
No, I just hopped on to listen while I'm making dates with organic peanut butter and dark chocolate.
Ooh, sounds yummy. Awesome. Okay. Christina, did you have a question?
No, I didn't have a question.
Okay. Did I miss anyone? Did I get every Cheryl?
No, I'm good. I've been loving great questions. Good
Yes,
stuff.
good stuff. Yes, absolutely. Really, really good stuff. All right. So last call for questions. Otherwise, we go ahead and close the call. People on Facebook, do you guys have any questions? People on Zoom, do you have any questions? Awesome. Thank you for joining me tonight. Love you all lots. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now. Oh, next class is meditation, and I think that's on the 4th of February is our monthly meditation class. All right, guys, have a good evening. Bye for now.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Recording stop.
People on Facebook, love you all lots. Catherine, hi. Greg, awesome. Good to see you guys. All right, guys, take care. Bye for now.